Someone is sinking our ships!
That is unacceptable! Are you attempting to locate the bastards behind these attacks?
We're trying now. If we catch them, what would you like us to do with them?
Whoever is attempting to destroy our ships is an enemy of the Daleks. All enemies of the Daleks must be exterminated. Exterminate them! 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 Exterminate!
Hello ladies and gentlemen, Nick here, and welcome to my review of Doctor Who, The Sea Devils, the third Doctor Who story from Season 9, and it's also the first to see the return of the Master, played by Roger Delgado in his 6th performance, and it's the first time since the Damons. So he's had 2 stories to break, and it works as we see him in his prison, on an island. I'm not sure what the island's actually called, but the island's there, and there's the prison there where he's being specially kept, and there's also a naval base nearby. Anyway, so the story also sees the first and currently, no, not the only appearance, the first appearance of the Sea Devils, aquatic reptilian cousins to the reptilians' land Silurians, or Eocenes, as the Doctor points out in this story. So the Silurians should actually be called the Eocenes. In the Hungry Earth, the Doctor says to call Silurians or Eocenes or Homo Reptilia. So Homo Reptilia is probably the most accurate way of calling them, like we're Homo sapiens. But Silurians is more of a nickname, like humans is an overall name for Homo sapiens, or man. Yeah, in a way, so that's the Silurians, and in this case we got the Sea Devils. No precise name like Eocenes for these guys, but I don't know. But the Sea Devils, they're actually pretty good. They're pretty good villains in a way. It's just a shame we don't really see that much of them until part 5. I mean, we see 1 or 2 of them going around doing some stuff in the first 3 episodes, and then in part 4 we got, well, the one from the end of part 3, and then we got a whole bunch of them leading a charge and an attack on the prison in part 4 to break out the Master. Well, I say break out, he can walk in and out of the prison anytime he wants, but it's during part 4 that he decides it's time to go and go down to the base, as the Master has somehow gotten in contact with the Sea Devils, and he's been trying to communicate with them from his prison, and he's gotten a hold over his governor, Colonel Trenchard, and the guards. So they're actually working for him, and they try to deceive the Doctor and Joe that he's just serving his time, basically. So I'm not sure how the Master got in contact with them, but in part 4 we get to see a few more, because we've seen some of their attacks throughout the story, but part 4 we get to see a mass attack, and then part 5 we actually get to go down to the base. It did take us a few episodes to actually get down to the Sea Devils base, although Silurians is well in Doctor and Silurians, and the Silurian stuff in the middle, it's Sea Devils, let's say yes. And the stuff in the middle, there isn't that much Sea Devil-y stuff, besides the attack and the cliffhanger of part 3, start of part 4. Yeah, it just tries to, and part 2, there isn't that much Sea Devil-y stuff after being rescued from the oil rig. kind of it tries to be a little Sea Devil 3 when it tries to focus on the Master until about midway through part 4. So that's odd, but still got some great Master stuff. I will say this, when they do focus on the Master a bit more, we do seem to move away from the Sea Devil's plot. I mean, the whole overall plot is still there, because the Master is up to his neck in this situation, but the moving away from the Sea Devil's plot, it just felt a bit odd, and it actually felt a bit dull in some places. Just wondering, I'm going to get back to the plot in a bit, with just some scenes, but on the whole, it's a good story. You've got some very good moments where the characters go around trying to stop the Sea Devils, and we've got the help of the Royal Navy as well. That's really good, and how this dickhead tries to blow them up and blow the Sea Devils up just because he's not an unlikable character, but he can be a bit sexist in episodes 4 and 5. I can't remember his name, but he's the guy from London. He comes down, he's a bit sexist. He's wondering if Jo or Bree, I believe her name is, the captain's secretary or assistant, second in command. She's made to serve the politician, and so's Jo in some places. He's a little bit sexist, though he does have concerns of Jo going into the ventilation shaft because she's young. Although he calls her a mere child, which I would say Jo's in her early 20s, so I don't know if I would call her a mere child. A girl maybe, but not a mere child. But he does show some compassion and worry over her. It's just that in the two episodes, in part 6, it's just that in episodes 4 and 5 he was a little just borderline sexist. I would say borderline. I mean, he wasn't overly sexist. He wasn't saying, he wasn't telling Bree that she was only good at being a servant. He was just asking her and Jo to get him some breakfast and coffee. Mostly Bree, but a little bit of Jo. And I think we actually see Bree getting a bit annoyed at this, as Jo does as well in some places, where more so with him trying to attack the Sea Devils and not really caring about the lives of the submarine people who have gone down there and the Doctor. PSS, this subplot about the submarine, that's alright, I suppose. I mean, they do go to it a few times, but there isn't really much happening with it until the Doctor helps it escape. So, but alongside the shipping sinking plots, it makes sense. The Sea Devils never really actually said why they were sinking the ships. Maybe it was just part of their plan to attack man. Yeah, attacking ships. Not going to be noticed by anyone, is it? Yeah. Nor would the attack of the fort wouldn't be noticed. Not really. Not for a bit anyway. Although why they waited until after sinking 3 ships, they attack the fort and kill a person and make another guy crazy. I don't know. The Sea Devils' plan in this story is strange, and they're very determined to wipe man out. They don't even bother listening. They're basically that stubborn Silurian from Doctor and the Silurians, except there is a little time where they are willing to give it a chance until they are attacked by the humans. Oh dear. Final attack on the attack on the base. The sea base is pretty fun. It's got some good moments, and how the Doctor is able to turn a machine to make it really annoying to the Sea Devils to make a distraction. That was cool, and him setting it up to blow up the base. That was good. It's good. I wouldn't say it's an amazing say the Doctor just hooking up into the Sea Devil's base and then causing it to explode. I wouldn't say it's an amazing climax, but him and the Master's interactions beforehand is pretty good, and we get to the famous "I've reversed the polarity of the neutron flow" line here. I'm sure we might have said it before this, but I mean, he's definitely said "I've reversed the polarity," but I don't think he's said "I've reversed the polarity of the neutron flow." Yeah, so I don't know if he says this again, apart from in the 5 Doctors, where he definitely says this again, but he might say it once or twice more in this era, but it's definitely in this story that he says, "I've reversed the polarity of the neutron flow." And we also get to see the sonic screwdriver back when he and Jo are going through the mines, and it's the Pertwee type sonic screwdriver that we are famous, we are well known in Planet of the Spiders. He's got the version Tom Baker will be using in his stories with the black ring around the top. So basically Tom Baker's sonic screwdriver. Whilst in Inferno he had this kind of doorknob thing which kind of looked like a sonic screwdriver but without a proper casing. So it was kind of, and prior to that it was just a little metal wand thing that the second Doctor had been using. So I think this sonic screwdriver will appear again. It's definitely going to be in Carnival of Monsters. I'm not sure if it's going to appear in any other story. Probably will. I'll let you know. But definitely by the time Plants of Spiders comes along, he changes it to the one Tom Baker uses. But this one's an upgrade from the one he used in Inferno, if that was supposed to be the sonic screwdriver, and a massive update from the one from War Games. So, yeah, nice little bit of sonic screwdriver history. By the way, it's this type that I'm talking about, the red top, red ring around this little white silver bit, some black and a yellow bit with black stripes. It's a bit like tape, really, and then the rest is white, and you pull it down like that. So of course, when he's attacking with the black bit down here, with the C, when he gets to the C dev, when he's blowing up the mines, he pulls it down and goes beep beep, and it explodes. This one makes the sound more like one of the new series. The sound. Actually, I think that's a typical sonic screwdriver sound, so I'm not going to hold it against that. So yeah, this is basically the sonic screwdriver. The Tom Baker one is a little bit fatter, and it loses the tape and has a basic. I think this bit is on showing you. Whilst you do put it down, you don't have this bit in the way. It's the black bit at the top. And Peter Davison's is the same, except I think you include a gold ring a bit further down as well. But yeah, it's similar design. It's just that I think the Tom Baker, Peter Davison ones have a fatter casing, and then they go to a thinner design for Sylvester McCoy, Paul McGann's the TV movie, and it's very silver. In fact, I think it's completely silver apart from the middle bit, which might be red. I'm not sure. So in conclusion, The Sea Devils is a good story, but there is a bit in the middle where it does start to not feel so entertaining. It starts to move along at a bit of a slow pace. I will say the fight between the Doctor and the Master at the end of part 2 is great. It's fun to see them fight and fence, and in the Doctor's case have some sandwiches whilst doing it. And then later on he has some sandwiches, and he breaks sandwiches. So I think it's not a picnic, and then he eats all the sandwiches apart from one he gives to Bree, and then just gives the empty plate to Joe. So he can be a bit humorous as well. Even he might be a little bit snappy in some places. And he also, and like I said, the fight with the Master is fun, and he gets to have a sandwich there. He gets to fight the Master again with sword fight with the Master in the King's Demons. Although in that story, the Master is in disguise, and then he reveals that he is indeed the Master after the fight, or just as the fight finishes. So yeah, that's with the Fifth Doctor and Amy's Master. That's a sword fight, not a this one's a fencing sword fight. The Doctor and the Master should have another fencing fight. I don't know why that hasn't been done since King's Demons. Next time the Master or the Mistress comes back, the Doctor needs to have a fencing or sword fight with him/her. Okay? Anyway, so as I was saying, The Sea Devils, good story, fun moments, not so fun moments in other places, mainly around the middle where it gets a bit slower, a bit more draggy, but it's still got some good stuff, and overall well written. I think the story could have worked better at 4 parts, but overall it's still a pretty decent story and has some good moments. So I'm going to give the Sea Devils a 8 out of 10. I think it's that great. I think it's good. I think it's a good follow-up to Doctor and the Silurians, and it's nice going back to Earth for a more Earthbound story after the Curse of Paladin, and a bit more of a sci-fi adventure of Day of the Daleks. This one's a bit more of a a typical Earthbound story with Sea Devils. So, yeah, and the Master's back, and he escapes at the end, so we'll be seeing him again at the end of this season in the Time Monster. Not the next story, but the story after that. But it's not completely perfect, as I mentioned. There is bits in the middle. I'm just not that, I don't find that fun, just not that interesting, and just not that great. But there are plenty of great moments across all 6 episodes, and I do think it is a really well done story, a really enjoyable one. Anyway, that's it from my review of the Sea Devils. Thank you for watching. Tune in next time where I'll be reviewing the 4th story of this season, The Mutants. And this story is an allegory for the apartheid stuff that was going on in South Africa. How they didn't take the hint, I don't know. In fact, the apartheid went on until, I'm not sure when it started, but it's lasted, I think it was about 30s or 40s or 50s, but it lasted until 1991. So as long, if not longer, than the fucking Cold War. Jesus, South Africa, how come you didn't take the hint earlier? Lethal Weapon 2 was all about white people being the villains. White South African people being the villains. But anyway, next time, The Mutants. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye. Don't forget to click below to subscribe to the official Nicholas Payne Retro YouTube channel. But still, I mean, he's okay. And to wipe it from the planet. Yeah, sinking 3 ships. It's not going to be noticed. And yeah. So the Sea Devils. I'm gonna go and get the sonic screwdriver for you, actually. Nice shot of my leg or knee. I'm back at the end. Still recording? Okay, good. So anyway, so that's it from my review of the excuse me.
That is unacceptable! Are you attempting to locate the bastards who are trying to do this? Sorry. That is unacceptable! Are you attempting to locate the bastards? That is unacceptable! Are you attempting to locate the bastards behind these attacks? That is unacceptable! This is what happens when you do 5 or 6 takes of the same line. The voice wears out a little.
Action. Someone is Fuck. Someone is. We're trying now. If we catch them, what would you like us to do with them? Right, hope that works.